Hello students, welcome you all to the next session regarding discussion of the module number one, module number 3, refrigeration and air conditioning, the continued part. In the previous session, already we have discussed regarding the definition of refrigeration terms, that is coefficient of performance, ton of refrigeration effect, ice making capacity, relative coefficient of performance, and other terms. Also, we have discussed regarding the principle of refrigeration. In today's session, students, we'll be discussing regarding parts of an refrigerator and the working principle of a refrigerator. So already on the screen, you can see my email IDs I have been displayed here. So if you have any doubts, you can send me an email to this email IDs. Also, you can send me the WhatsApp message to this WhatsApp number, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and leave the comments in the comment box where I can clarify your doubts. Now with this, we shall begin today's session, students, regarding the discussion of the parts of a refrigerator as well as the working of refrigeration. So parts of a refrigerator, the first part which we are going to study here, in any kind of refrigerator, we are having the 4 parts, and the first part we are going to learn here is this particular picture. So if you have observed your refrigerator carefully at your home, just I will give you the hint, students. This is the inside space of your refrigerator. Imagine this is the place where you are placing the tray, and on this trays you are placing some food materials or any other items. So this space which you are observing right now, it is the inside of a refrigerator. So if you observe, this is the place where we are keeping the trays, and on these trays we are having some food materials, as I said. So even the vegetables also we keep here itself. So the first part which you're going to see right now in the picture here is, it is the evaporator. It is the evaporator. So this evaporator, actually, it is located inside the cabinet, and it is a place where we are having a set of coiled tubes. So if you observe here, here you can see here I'm highlighting here. These are a set of coiled tubes. Within these coiled tubes, the refrigerant is flowing. This refrigerant, when it absorbs the heat from the food materials, there is a drop in the temperature in the refrigerator, and by absorbing the heat, this refrigerant undergoes evaporating at low pressures to form from a liquid phase to vapor phase. So once the refrigerant which is flowing in these particular coiled tubes or the pipes, as it absorbs the heat from the food materials, it undergoes evaporation at lower temperatures, and as a result, by absorbing the heat, it gets converted into vapor phase. Generally, the coils which you are observing here, students, they are made up of the aluminum or copper material, as they are having a good, excellent thermal conductivity, and they are available at cheaper cost when compared to constantan and manganese materials. Apart from this evaporator, it is a place where all the food materials are being stored, and this is the coldest region in the refrigerator. So as more maximum amount of heat is taken away from this region itself, so once the heat is absorbed from the evaporator, eventually there is a drop in the temperature. As a result, there is a change in the phase of the refrigerant from liquid to vapor phase. Then the next part which you are going to see here now, students, is it is the compressor. So if you observe at the bottom side, back and bottom side of a refrigerator, it is this machine which is available to you. We call this particular machine as compressor. So if you observe carefully, this is nothing but a circulating system, or sometimes it's also known as a pump. So once the refrigerant, it is in the vapor phase, it cannot move very easily in the entire circuit. So we need an external device. So the function of this compressor is, it is a piston cylinder arrangement device. So this compressor is a piston cylinder arrangement device. So within this compressor, when the vapor passes, it is being compressed to a high pressure at high temperature, As a result, the refrigerant then from the compressor, it passes through the next set of coils. So in other words, you can say that the compressor is used for two functions. One is it compresses the vapor refrigerant to high pressure and high temperatures. Another one is it helps for easy circulation of the refrigerant through the entire circuit. So as I said, it is a piston cylinder arrangement. It is placed at the back side of the refrigerant, also at the bottom position. Okay, this is regarding the next part, circulating system or a pump. So when the vapor is being compressed in this particular compressor, the output which is coming, it has attained high pressure and high temperature vapor phase. So once it has attained the high pressure and high temperature phase, it moves the third part of refrigerator, that is, yes, students. So as I said, as it comes out from the compressor, in the picture you can see here, this is the compressor. Once it comes out from the compressor, it enters the next set of coiled tubes which are present behind the refrigerator. So if you observe carefully, students, these tubes which are there, these tubes, they have been located back side of the refrigerator. They are also coiled tubes. So these coiled tubes, within these coiled tubes, the refrigerant is flowing. So this section, the third part, we call this particular section as condenser. So in other words, what you can say, students, is condenser is an heat exchanger which is similar to that of an evaporator itself, which is consisting of a set of coiled tubes, and its function is that when the refrigerant passes through these coiled tubes, students, when the refrigerant passes through these coiled tubes, then the refrigerant, already we have discussed, the output of the compressor is high pressure, high temperature vapor phase. So through the vapor phase, when it passes in through these coiled tubes, you can see this portion, it is exposed to the surrounding air present in the atmosphere, which means it is outside of the refrigerator. So the surrounding air, it passes over these coils. So here you can see I am showing with the green mark lines. So the air, when it passes over these coiled tubes, the temperature of air is lesser when compared to temperature of vapor. And already we know that heat always flows from high temperature zone to lower temperature zone. So vapor which is having high temperature, it loses its heat to the surrounding air, as and when the refrigerant passes from the starting end to the last end of its coiled tubes, it is giving away its heats completely. So therefore, by the time it starts from here and reaches this particular point, already it has given away its heat. So once the refrigerant gives away its heat to the surrounding air, then its temperature is dropped and it gets converted into liquid phase. So as I said, condenser is a part which is located back of the refrigerator. It is similar to that of an evaporator. And when the vapor refrigerant is passing through these coils, then the surrounding air present around these coils, it absorbs the heat from this vapor. Why it absorbs? Because we know that always heat flows from higher temperature zone to lower temperature zone. So therefore, the heat of the refrigerant vapor, it passes towards the surrounding air, which is cold in nature, and there is a drop in the temperature of the refrigerant. So once temperature is dropped, it comes back to the liquid phase with low temperature, but condition, students, the pressure has not decreased. It is in the high pressure itself. Apart from that, another important point to you here is, if you observe the backside of a refrigerator carefully, students, there are thin stick-like structures here. These are thin, thick-like structures. These thin-like structures, we call them as fins. They are thin structures. So the purpose of this fins is nothing but the heat transfer rate. It has to be higher. And already you know that any material, if you hot material, that is a hot iron bar, if you keep it in an open environment, and the same hot material, if you keep it in a cold, in a water itself, so the temperature drop in water takes place at a higher rate when compared to air. So for that reason itself, when the refrigerant is passing through these coiled tubes, by the time it reaches the end point, it has to give away its heat completely. So for that purpose, in order to again increase the heat transfer rate, we have attached thin stick-like structures here. We call these thin stick structures as fins. So the function of the fins is they want to increase the heat rejection rate through this tubes. Then once the refrigerant passes the condenser, already I told it has converted, the refrigerant is now in the liquid phase with a drop in temperature, but the pressure, there is pressure is still in the higher conditions itself. So now the next part comes is our the throttling valve, or you also call it as the expansion devices. And if you see this carefully, it is a copper tube structure. Through this particular expansion or throttling device, when the refrigerant passes here, it is having a small orifice opening, tiny opening. And as the refrigerant passes through this particular device, there is a drop in pressure occurring. There is a drop in pressure, which means reduction in the pressure. So therefore, this expansion valve or throttle valve, it is especially used for reducing the pressure. Also, it regulates the flow of refrigerant through the evaporator. These are the four important parts of refrigerator. Almost all the parts, all the types of refrigerators, they have the same four parts, except there may be a change in the second part, that is compressor. So if you are using a vapor compression refrigeration, students, we have a compressor as a pumping part. Whereas if you go for vapor absorption refrigeration, we don't have the compressor. It is replaced by another kit. So regarding that, I will be discussing when I discuss in detail regarding vapor absorption refrigeration. Now coming on to the working of a refrigerator, students. So this is a diagram which I have shown you regarding how the refrigerant flows through all the four parts. So first what I will do is I will split this diagram into four parts. Please observe here everybody. This is point number 1. Then this is point number 2. This is point number 3. And this is point number 4. Point number 2, I can take it a little bit front. I will take it here. Point number 2, students. So now, students, already I have discussed the first part which you have learnt is evaporator. So evaporator is the part which is located inside the cabinet of a refrigerator. It is the part where we are having a set of coiled tubes. We are having a set of coiled tubes, and within these, in the evaporator itself, the food material is being stored. So initially, when the refrigerant is entering through point 1 into the evaporator, the condition of the refrigerant is, if you observe carefully, it is a low pressure, low temperature liquid refrigerant. Now it enters through this point 1 in the evaporator part. Here it enters. Once it enters, the refrigerant passes through these coiled tubes continuously, where we have kept food materials and other items. So this refrigerant, it absorbs the heat from those food materials, due to which there is a drop in the temperature inside the evaporator. And by the time the refrigerant comes to the end point of the evaporator, that is at here, by absorbing the heat, it gets evaporated at lower temperatures and it gets converted to vapor phase. So it comes here at this particular end, it is now in the vapor phase. So with vapor phase, there is no change in the pressure and temperature. That is, they are having the low pressure and low temperature vapor itself. It now enters the second part of the device. We call it as a compressor. So here it enters the second part of the refrigerator compressor. So within this compressor, this vapor refrigerant, it is compressed to higher pressure and temperature using the piston cylinder arrangement. So once it is compressed to higher pressure and temperature within the compressor, the circulation becomes more easier when compared to the other things. So the output of the compressor which is coming out, that is the refrigerant, now it has reached to a phase increase in the pressure, that is high pressure and high temperature vapor phase itself. So once it has reached for the high pressure and high temperature vapor phase, Now it moves towards the third part of the machine, that is the condenser. So if you observe, this is the condenser passing through point 3. So in the condenser, if you observe carefully, students, it is consisting a set of coil tubes here also as similar to that of the evaporator itself. But this set of coil tubes, it is placed behind the refrigerator. This portion is placed behind the refrigerator, that is outside of the refrigerator, and it is exposed freely to the air. So when the refrigerant passes, that is the high pressure, high temperature refrigerant vapor, it passes through this condenser coils, the surrounding air or the atmospheric air, it absorbs the heat of this refrigerant vapor present in these tubes. So already we know heat always flows from hot zone to cold zone. So here in the refrigerant, here in the coil tubes, the refrigerant is there, it is having more temperature. That is the reason that it is in the vapor phase. So therefore, it gives away the heat to the surrounding air as it passes from point 3 towards the end of this condenser section. And by the time it reaches to the end point here, the refrigerant gives the heat completely to the surrounding air, and there is a drop in temperature. So drop in temperature means now the refrigerant gets converted back to the liquid phase. You can see here backward liquid phase with the drop in temperature, it is low temperature. But there is no change in the pressure, students. There is no change in the pressure. Pressure remains the same itself. It is at a higher pressure conditions itself now. So now it enters this refrigerant, that is a high pressure, low temperature liquid refrigerant. It now enters through an expansion device at point 4, that is here. This is the expansion device, students. Expansion device, or it is also known as a throttling device, which is having a small opening where within which, as the refrigerant passes, there is a reduction in the pressure. There is a reduction in the pressure, and with reduction in the pressure, it regulates the flow of refrigerant to the evaporator passing through this throttling device. So therefore, in a simple words, I would help you understand that for any refrigerator, these are the 4 important parts. So initially, as I said, the refrigerant at a low temperature, low pressure liquid phase, it enters the evaporator. Inside the evaporator, it absorbs the heat of the food materials present inside this one. By absorption of heat, there is a evaporation taking place at low pressures, due to which it gets converted into vapor phase. Then this low pressure, low temperature vapor refrigerant, it enters low pressure, low temperature vapor refrigerant. It enters into the compressor, where it is compressed to high pressure and high temperature due to the help of a piston cylinder arrangement device. And with this high pressure and high temperature vapor, it is easily circulated through the condenser coils. It is easily circulated through condenser coils. So now there to the condenser coils, when it is passing this high pressure, high temperature vapor refrigerant, it enters the condenser coils. Again, here also we are having a set of coil tubes. As it passes through the set of coil tubes, which are present behind the refrigerator, freely open to the air or exposed to atmospheric air, the refrigerant gives away its heat to the surrounding air, due to which there is a drop in the temperature, and now the refrigerant gets converted back to the liquid phase. With a drop in temperature. It is low temperature liquid phase, but the pressure has not reduced. So for the reduction of pressure, we take the help of a device known as a throttling device or an expansion device, where the refrigerant passes through this particular device. There is a reduction in the pressure with the regulating the flow of refrigerant towards the evaporator. So now when it comes out of the expansion device, if you observe carefully, again it has attained the low pressure, low temperature liquid phase itself, and again this cycle continues through all the 4 parts, and the cooling effect is carried. This is the working of a refrigerator. Students, one more point I would like to highlight to you here is this explanation. It is the same even for a type of refrigerant, which we call it as a vapor compression refrigeration. It is also similar for a type of refrigeration, we call it as vapor compression refrigeration. So in your examination, if he asks, write the working principle of an refrigerator or a VCR, vapor compression refrigeration, both are same. The explanation is same for both of these. So in short form, we call it as VCR. One important point which we would like to add for the vapor compression refrigeration is the type of refrigerant which we are preferring, students. The type of refrigerant. So generally, when we come for vapor compression refrigeration, students, the refrigerant which are normally preferring is the Freon itself. So students, as I was telling you, for the vapor compression refrigeration, the refrigerant which we are using is, we call it as Freon 12, F-R-E-O-N, Freon 12. It is nothing but a refrigerant. It is refrigerant. That is the working medium which is responsible for undergoing the phase change from liquid to vapor as well as vapor to liquid. Refrigerant. So symbolically, this Freon 12, sometimes this Freon 12 we also write it by a symbol known as R12. So in the examination, the question will be asked to you is, with a neat sketch, explain the working of an Freon 12 cycle or R12 cycle, which means it is a vapor compression refrigeration. Its chemical composition, that is the scientific name, we also call it as difluoromethane. Difluoromethane. So we are having another section regarding discussion of the types of refrigerants. There I'll be discussing regarding all these refrigerants which we are using especially for refrigerators. So in today's session, students, we have discussed regarding the parts of a refrigerator, working of a refrigerator, which is almost similar, the same explanation for one type of refrigeration, that is vapor compression refrigeration, which is similar for vapor compression refrigeration. So in the next session, students, the next session we'll be discussing vapor absorption refrigeration. So as I said, in the refrigeration, we are having two types of refrigerations. So as I was saying, your students, in the refrigeration, if you make the classification, we are having two types of refrigerations. Two types of refrigeration. The first type is just now we have discussed, that is VCR, which is also known as vapor compression vapor compression refrigeration. Another one, the second type is, students, it is VAR. Second type is VAR. Here we don't have compressor. As I said, the compressor is replaced by an absorption unit. So it is absorption unit. It is having some more other devices whose main function is regarding the flow of refrigerant to the condenser itself. That we'll be discussing in the next session. So another is vapor absorption refrigeration. So these are two types of refrigeration. So already I have told the working of a refrigerator and VCR both are same itself. You can write the same sketch and same explanation for both of them. Okay. So we shall stop the session here only, students. And remember one thing in the examination, students, when you are drawing the refrigeration circuit, that is the net flow diagram, please show these phase changes clearly. That is how the vapor phase conversion takes place, how the high pressure, high temperature impact, how there is a liquid phase transformation, that is high pressure, low temperature, and here low temperature, low liquid phase. So if you show these phases clearly, half of your answer is correct. You will get the marks very easily. So we'll stop here, students. So if you have any doubts, you can send me an email or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel also and leave my comments. Thank you, students.